I'm trying to figure out like what can people realistically expect if you have some of the skills, you know how to edit video, and you're making stuff for a niche.
Yeah.
You're working yourself in the ground by not thinking of ways how you can level up your own skill set. And if you have the skill set, but you don't got the momentum yet, use that to help somebody else build their thing. And there's mutual win-win there. Growing niche, it's not a shrinking niche. It's not like you're vlogging out here trying to be Casey Neistat from 2016, right?
Ruslan.
I saw your video on the Ryan situation, and it inspired. Somebody put it in our Discord. Actually, it was in our Patreon Discord, and I watched it, and I was like, "Bro, your video's heat. Your takeaways are heat." Then I went down the rabbit hole, checked out a couple other videos, and me and Zach always talk about like people reach out for collabs and they want to do stuff, but they don't really have their stuff together. Like they want to do stuff, but they don't really like. You ain't got no real good videos, fam. Like you got a couple hundred subscribers, but your videos are cheeks, right? Your videos are actually really good, and I feel like you're situated that like if folks, God willing, discover you through me shouting you out or whatever, that like you have a back catalog of videos you've been putting in work for. So anyway, introduce yourself, man. Tell the people who you are, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, well, super kind of you. Thank you for having me on. For everybody, hi, my name's Super Shadow. Online, my real name is Jay. From Chicago. I'm a pastor in real life. I've been doing content creation for about 5 years now. And the reason why you probably haven't heard of me on YouTube is because I've been making a name for myself more on Twitch, which is a live streaming platform service. Been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years off and on. And recently made the switch to YouTube because I'm a dad now. I have a daughter, 8-month-old. And so, yeah, not as much time to be live streaming 24/7. So YouTube seemed like a better alternative there to keep my family as a priority. So that's why I'm here now on YouTube.
Where do you pastor now? Are you like a bivocational pastor, or are you somewhere like at a church planted, or where?
So I'm in full-time church ministry as a pastor in a church in the Chicagoland area. It's a pretty big church called Community. And so I'm working there, one of the locations. And so I'm pretty much their like associate pastor over there.
Okay, dope, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it's interesting how folks from ministry, I feel like have, in my opinion, have an advantage in many ways to cross over to this space, because it's a lot of skills that you need. Like to be successful in ministry on your way up, like you have to have this like unicorn of a skill set in terms of like being creative, but also being, someone that's administrative and like logical and all that. And so you develop these skills, and then as you get better, it makes sense to diversify and try different things. And then I find a lot of folks that when they try YouTube, it's like, oh, this isn't as hard as I thought it would be. Like the grind is harder, but the creation process is not that hard.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Especially with live streaming. I think what got me into it initially was just like I had a 2-week break on the way getting married, and my buddies were working, and they're like, hey, why don't you stream that game from your PlayStation? And so I did it. And I had my 1 or 2 buddies watching, and then like a third person pops in, and they're like, "Hey, like, who are you? What are you about?" And just talking, shooting the breeze. And then, "Oh, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I'm a pastor. What do you do?" And then that's when once they hear you're a pastor, it's either like they want to spill their guts, talk about their experience with the church, whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm here for that. Like, forget the game, forget what we're doing. Like, I'd just rather have conversation and know who you are. I might never know you, and that's one of the coolest things about this ministry and being online. You might never know all the people you impact or you get to talk to, but they know you, and God used you in their life to tell a story and to help them move one step closer to knowing him. And to me, that's worth it if I don't get any subscribers from this. If I just have one person take that step to know God a little bit better, I feel like I did my job.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now tell me, what are your thoughts about Ryan Trahan in that interview that you did? I thought your video was great, by the way, just from a quality standpoint and from just the points that you made. And so what was your overall impression of that?
I've been watching Ryan since COVID. And this was if you watch the interview, listen to him, he talks about how he was kind of just on that grind, making selfish content. I was watching him back then, and I saw some of his stuff, and some of it was hit or miss. It was mostly good though. Thought this guy was cool. But then when he made that switch, and you start noticing that his content goes from being very like him focused after he got married to being like very general, very like, hey, I'm spending 24 hours in this room, or I'm doing 24-hour this thing. And it was more appealing to more people. And I was like, man, there's something different about this guy. Like now, like I've noticed this and didn't know anything about his wife or his background. Fast forward to this Penny series and ended up like most of the world watching it every day along the way. It became part of my routine. And I'm like, man, this guy has like the joy of the Lord in him. Like I could just tell, like you just, after you've been a Christian for a while, you just know when you see that person, you're like, he's talking like a Christian. Like even if he's not saying anything specifically about God or about Christians. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I think this dude might be a Christian. And so we
Mm-hmm.
speculated on that. And that was a past video I did about a month and a half, 2 months ago when the Penny
Mm-hmm.
series was about to end.
Mm-hmm.
And I left it at, hey, I found out his wife's a strong believer. She unabashedly shares her devotionals and what God's doing in her life.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of saying these things like, oh man, God, God, praying to God, God bless, this person, or God bless this. He's making these posts on Instagram. So I'm like, if this dude's not a Christian yet, he's right there on the
He's
cusp
right there.
of,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
he's like one conversation away. And so I was like, man, my dream and hope was like, if he sees this, hope it's encouraging to him to be like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
take that step. It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then saw this interview Friday night, I want to say it was,
Mm-hmm.
and ended up staying up watching the whole thing. It's like a 15-minute interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to like get out of bed right then and there and start working on. I started the script that night for the video that you saw, and just loved it. It was grinning ear to ear because it's just so cool and impactful to see when somebody, not just how God moves in somebody's lives, like that's always amazing, especially when you hear a story of like him being an atheist, but then someone being unabashful and unashamed, willing to share that on a platform. That guy that interviewed him, he's a pretty popular dude. Like
Yeah,
he's a
man.
pretty
10 million
well-known YouTuber.
subscribers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's no small fry there, right? And for Ryan just to be like, yo, like I believe. Like I might not be able to give every single answer right now, but
Mm-hmm.
I know what he did for me. And
Yeah.
and you just see it in all the comments. You go to that video, you look at all the comments people left, they're like, dude, I'm not even a Christian, and this moved me to tears. I'm not, I've walked away from God years ago. Like it was just so many comment after comment after comment, people that were just like impacted by that one statement he made. And that just shows, I think, the power of content creation, of what this platform can do, and the reach that it has.
So your channel is doing well in terms of just the quality of it, and you have these last couple of videos, man. The thumbnails are super cohesive. You have some really good topics. I feel like here, this Ryan video seems to be performing. That's so interesting, man, because I feel like your videos are really good. This first Ryan video did 430 views. And so, guys, if you're not subscribed, go subscribe to Super Shadow. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers. That would actually really make my day. Format. I see 2 rows, so I would say 8, 9 videos that are like really well produced videos. Is that so? How long has that been? About 3 months, 6 months? Like how? Question 1 is, how long have you been uploading?
Yeah, probably. Like I said, when I was still doing on Twitch, and Twitch was my main focus, I was uploading like random clips from the live stream. Just trying to repurpose my content in that way. Lazy, I'd say, content repurposing, right? But I was like, no, I need to make something specific for YouTube. And that really started probably about, my daughter, like I said, is about to turn 8 months now. It was probably about after like a month or 2 where I was like, okay, I can't keep up my live stream schedule. So probably about 4 or 5 months, I'd say, where I've been really solid. Like, okay, I'm trying to get a video out a week, or at least every other week if I can't. And I've been keeping up with that schedule. I took a little bit of a break. My pastoring role, I took a bunch of students out to camp for like 2 weeks. So there's like a 2-week break in between there, but that's the longest I've gone without uploading and putting something out. But I have a lot of ideas. I'm talking about pop Christianity next, and the effects that has on us as believers, and how do we engage with that better. But I've been looking at a couple things, Impulse, Logan Paul, stuff like that. You've seen, I'm sure, George Greco there.
I'm actually going to try to really reach out and see if I can get an interview. I know he's watched some of my videos covering him. I would love
that'd be
to interview
awesome.
that dude. I'm asking because I'm trying to figure out, like, what can people realistically expect if you have some of the skills, you know how to edit video, and you're making stuff for a niche, the Christian space, which I think is a growing niche. It's not a shrinking niche. It's not like you're vlogging out here trying to be Casey Neistat from 2016, right? Like, it's a growing niche. You have great videos. The content is solid. The branding is solid. I want people to get a healthy gauge of, okay, you did it consistently for 6 months, and without any cosigns or collabs, how many subscribers did that grow in 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, it's grown. I mean, I probably had less than 100.
Okay.
And so the last 6
500
months,
subscribers in 6 months of consistently once a week uploading a video.
Yeah. And I will say, I'll caveat that with the fact that, like I said, I had an audience. I had people who wanted to watch, me interact with stuff that were on the Twitch that obviously have YouTube or know what YouTube is. So just kind of encouraging them, like, hey, check this out, check this out, check this out. This is a better place where you're going to be able to constantly, know where I'm at. And so, my goal is to keep doing weekly. That's what I feel like is pretty attainable. The one wrench that has been thrown in my plan, and him, is John from What Do You Mean? actually picked me up as his editor. So I'm editing for John.
Oh, let's go. Are you doing his shorts or are you doing his other stuff?
Shorts. I'm doing his shorts, and he has a new video, I think, that's coming out later today or tomorrow, that he did with David Wood, and
Yep.
I did
I was on
intro.
FaceTime with him earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did his intro because he asked me to actually do his full editing, and we're in talks about what that could look like and how much work that would be, because I do want to stay committed to my own channel and trying to grow that,
Yeah.
But I'm totally down.
His shorts. You're doing his shorts and his
intros.
Yeah, man, that's so funny because I was talking to him. He's like, man, I got this new editor. He's super dope. I'm like, who is he? Yeah. I'm trying to find somebody local, but I need somebody remote too, that basically can watch the streams in the podcast, add timestamps, and then based on the best timestamps, create shorts. And I really want to step it up and go 2 a day, 5 days a week.
I wanted to tell John that same thing. I'm like, I think to do live streams and then to even just pull shorts out of that, because that's one thing that, like, from the Twitch world, like, that's what I'm used to doing. I'm used to live streaming and being like, okay, you have mods and stuff that could timestamp things for you while they're in the stream. And then that way you just know where to grab your clips from of a good headshot or, a good conversation that got pulled out of it. So I totally think that that's the next step YouTube wise. Now that YouTube's rolled out shorts and they're kind of competing with TikTok in that way, that's a big heads up for YouTube.
Yeah. What's been the biggest challenge besides getting paid to edit another Christian creator's videos?
No, I love John. He's awesome. I think I've really enjoyed it. I mean, he took a chance on me, he didn't have to let me do it. I still am not even that big. I have 500 subscribers. Like, I'm not. I'm nobody, right? At least here, I'm someone in God's kingdom. But so I love that. I love getting to work with them. And I think the funniest part is just like, I'll work on something with him and I'm like, oh, dude, I should totally do a video on that. And then, like, you'll come out with a similar video and I'm like, okay, I don't want to copy these two guys. I want to say something unique on my own. But, at the same time, there's nothing new under the sun. So it's like, there's only so many conversations to pull from.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times conversing with each other, something that I've seen interesting from young Don is, and he's kind of new to the space, kind of doing similar to what we're doing, is he'll react to my reactions, which is like, there's no ego in that. You know what I'm saying? He'll react to my reactions and commentate on my sound effects and you know what I mean? So I think sometimes we can overthink it, but if you're going high volume, the way a streaming reaction channel is, I don't think there's any shame in, like, yo, John McCrae just dropped this super dope video. Let's check it out. And, like, I might start doing that because I think sometimes it's just ego attached to it and who's first. And I'm like, listen, if we could collaborate on me and John do, like, we'll collaborate, we'll time videos together, we'll do each other's, we'll shout out each other in our outros. I don't think it needs to be. It needs to be like you said, there's nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. That's been my mantra throughout it. When I get in my head, I'm like, there's nothing new under the sun. I try not to watch your videos if I think I'm going to do something on it. So that way I could have the clear heart of, like, okay, I didn't steal that line or I didn't steal that point from them. I wrote my script, I did my thing. And if we happen to, like, overlap on something.
I don't want to overemphasize this, but I think this is a super important tactic that most people aren't taking advantage of. And I had this conversation with a rapper friend of mine. Instead of someone trying to, quote unquote, make it as a rapper or as a YouTuber, what if people develop the skills required to make it as a rapper and a YouTuber, and then took those skills, monetize those skills, right? And then help somebody else build what they wanted to do, and then transfer those same skills over to their own platform.
Right.
Like I think it's such a no-brainer. I was talking to this rapper who's doing well by all measurable accounts, and he has 12,000 followers, and I'm like, bro, like, you realize that if you mastered TikTok, do you understand how valuable of a utility that is, and how you can literally, instead of trying to scrape by making it as a rapper and all this, you can literally find a couple businesses or other creators, monetize the skill because you have the time to learn the skill, and then pull up and help me do my TikTok videos, and I'll pay you more, or I'll pay you half of what your job is paying now. And if you find 2 or 3 creators in the area, like, you're halfway there, And now
Right.
you're getting paid to learn and work on creative stuff while still doing your own thing at the time, buying back some of your time. Right. And so like, I know we're talking real tactical and you guys are like, why are you talking about all this stuff? Because I think it's such an easy thing that you're doing it. Like you're executing in real time of like, hey, I'm in the mix. You know, John, I know you know me now. Right. And you're actually getting paid to create for someone that is one of the leaders in a niche. And this happens all the time. Like Sneeko worked for Mr. Beast way before Sneeko had anywhere near 1 million subscribers, right? So I think it's like there's so much practical utility there, but I always see people like just wanting to make it and just hustle it in the pure. And it's like you're working yourself in the ground by not thinking of ways how you can level up your own skill set. And if you have the skill set, but you don't got the momentum yet, use that to help somebody else build their thing. And there's mutual win-win there.
Definitely. You are preaching to the choir, because when I started on Twitch, you know, got into the live streaming stuff, figured out OBS, figured out like all of how to do everything, and even learned like some really, really cool stuff. That's kind of what helped my channel grow as fast as it did. You know, ways to celebrate when people, you know, here at Super Chat or, you know, like gave a subscription, had these awesome things. And in my head at that time, this was 2018, 2017, I was like, man, I think I'm going to make a video and show how I do some of these things on YouTube. And like, maybe that's the angle I'll do on YouTube. I'll just start teaching tutorials of like, hey, here's these cool tips on how to do A, B, and C for your live stream to make yours look better. And I let 2 friends talk me out of doing that. And they're like, no, why would you share your secrets? Why would you share like what works for you? You know, keep that close to the chest. Didn't do it. Another guy by the name of Harris Heller created almost the exact same thing I was going to do because he had figured it out. And he's now blown up. He's also an artist too. He's now blown up on YouTube as Harris Heller. He's had Stream Beats, all this other stuff that people use, non-copyright music. And he is like the man if you want to learn how to get into live streaming on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is. And I'm like, man, like I had those exact same ideas and thoughts of doing that. But I bought into the idea, no, I got to work on my own stuff. I got to keep it close to the chest. And now I'm much more what you're saying in the realm of like, dude, I'd rather help John, who I know is going to reach way more people with his next video on What Do You Mean than who I'm going to reach, you know, in the next year. Because I still want to grind. I still want to build my channel, you know, but that's going to take time. And the reality is, you know, other than the Ryan Trahan stuff, my other stuff's maybe hitting 100, maybe 200, you know, Lord willing. But I could be way more effective and help John be way more effective, you know, and get him to 300K or whatever it may be that his goals are, and help him go, you know, we're better together and we can go faster, you know, together as a team in the direction. And I'll probably learn a lot of stuff along the way.
Especially if you're already a fan of someone and you're already watching their content, it doesn't take a lot to just repurpose something, chop it up, you know what I mean? Like, and get them additional content, get paid for it. But also, like, if your videos are helping someone go from someone like John McCrae, for example, to 255,000 subs, and because since you've came on board, you've literally helped him get to 300,000 subscribers. Like, I feel like in our space, and I don't know if this is other pockets, but in our space, folks tend to be very generous with information, generous with their time, generous with like building and trying to help each other out. That there's not this weird like scarcity mindset that there was when I was doing music.
Ruslan.